well.
Okay, let's go.
We're live. Hey, gang. There's no one here right now, but I guess there will be when they watch it back. So we have to pretend that we're talking to people right now.
Yeah. Hey, everyone. That's how it goes, Alex. Very good intro. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Crypto Marketing Roast. This is our episode 4 with special guest AlexOnChain. This is an edition where we're going to roast social accounts, and with consent, we're going to burn them to a crisp. This episode, we have a couple of volunteers from recognizable crypto projects that you guys will know and see. The catch is that we obviously know these brands, but we haven't checked out their latest and how their socials look. So we'll try to be as usual, as off the cuff as possible. Hopefully Alex is more crispy. As you guys know, Emily and I are usually on the wholesome side. There's definitely going to be some free advice going on. Also, we're way too respectful of these teams, so even more moderate than usual probably. And we'll also have a rapid fire section a little bit later. And we do have a rating going on. Emily, do you want to show that?
Yeah. So we did prepare something. And I did ask for feedback on if there's anything else that is negative aura points. I'm not sure if there's anything else here, but if we ever see a dead meme, rocket ship emoji, hashtags especially, I might kick you off. I don't know what's wrong with purple visuals, but I think we can get into that later.
This text is in purple now.
It is purple.
Well, that's not a good start.
So negative points to us starting off.
I was involved in this. Yeah, this is probably a good time. Disclaimer, I did nothing to prepare for this. So thanks to Emily and Reka for letting me be the personality hire today.
Hopefully you'll do great because there's a retainer.
Let's see.
Should we start roasting?
Yes.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Good morning.
I just realized I'm live. Hi guys, thanks for having me on.
Hey, welcome.
Thanks for being on.
How's it going?
Good. You guys, shall I go ahead and introduce myself?
Yeah, go with your 1-minute intro of yourself and your company, and then give us what we can roast.
And tell us whether you're nervous or not.
A little bit. I mean, I'm usually behind the scenes. So my name is Karina. I'm CryptoHauntus on Twitter. And I'm representing TransferMole. Now, we connect social media usernames to your bank account or your crypto profile. Essentially, what we do is it's kind of like a social name service. So it's super simple. We're already live for USDC and Apple Pay card payments to Instagram, Telegram, WhatsApp, Gmail, and X usernames. Now, of course, a lot more payments will come in the future. This is just what we have right now. And we turn your social media username into a cross-chain and cross-currency payment name kind of thing. So I was really excited to come onto here actually, because what I would love for you guys to review is our Twitter. Now I have a debate with our founder. He wants me to really create a lot of hype. He wants to put a lot more information in the banner. I feel like he's kind of, we were talking about this even yesterday. He's wondering like feedback from you guys. When you first land on our first, social discovery here, like the banner, the description, the pinned post, does it generate hype? Does it, do you get excited? Do we need to put more information in the banner? I don't think so, but like, what do you guys think?
I think, why is there a giant nose on my screen right now? That's what I think.
So this is me that put it on there. I don't have a designer currently supporting me with this, but where I was going with this was more, so you know how everyone always says, like, don't just sell your features, don't just put it on there that, you're turning social media usernames into a payment address. I wanted to kind of portray, like, what do people feel when they're using this, and the direction I was going with that was that you don't have to think. You don't have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're past a minute on the intro, so.
Yeah, so we're getting into the roast.
Okay.
Yeah, well, regardless of that explanation, I'm going to stand by my comment. I I do not
No
like
more
this
notes,
nose. So I would remove the nose. And yeah, I think to you, or maybe your founder, less is more. I actually think that sounds like what you're going for. So you don't want to stuff too much information into something like this. And it actually feels more information heavy than it is because of the way like you're using colors. I think the live integrations makes it feel really busy, and it doesn't need to. I'm not a designer. Maybe someone will back me up on that. And I'm just looking at the header right now. I think that font isn't very in my opinion. So I'd probably change that as well.
I personally think the nose is provocative. I have never seen a nose on a banner, so that for me is a plus, but that's me complimenting it, and so go for it, Reka.
Yeah, I'm going to start with a compliment. On the banner, I have no feelings about the woman. It confuses me, but it also feels like she came out of a party because of the makeup and the hair. And I don't know if that's when I would be sending crypto to my friends, but I do like the copy on it. It makes sense. I actually would rather read that than what's in your bio and the social media. I will start with roasting the purple. Fuck this purple. It's not you
The
guys.
moment I heard the purple, what you guys said about it, I was thinking, damn, that's my whole
'Cause
thing.
The eyeshadow too.
I know it's like
so purple.
it is, but it's not
That
you
was on
guys.
purpose.
It's the whole space somehow since like 2021 is just purple, and I don't know why is that the default, but we are purple. I also don't understand the AI pay token. It makes me think that there's a lot of AI involved. Maybe there is, and
Yeah,
I really like
Go
this
for it.
tagline.
I mean, this
Actually,
roast.
I think the tagline is great. I agree with Reka. Like, if you had this in your bio, it would just be so clean and crisp. It would just help me understand the point completely. I'm going to scroll down a bit now. So this is the pin post. I'll click on see more.
emojis. Lots of
emojis.
Yeah.
So
Was this written with ChatGPT?
No, actually, but
it was cleverly
a lot of
designed to
emojis
look
for
like
sure.
it was.
Okay, the video, it grabs attention very physically with the hand and everything, and it does show a little demo. It does tell us what to do, but then look at the post more. I think we agree that the emojis have to go or have to change. It is long.
If we go back to our checklist, I think we're hitting many things here. We've got hashtags, way too many emojis, a see more. I think, yeah, the video is great. And when you see it as a pin post, I think it actually stands out as a very good pin post until you expand it. And then I think it's way too much, especially if you've got a video. It's just way too much information overload, especially if it's planned to be pinned for a long time. So I would think about reformatting that, try and remove the show more and just fit everything into the video and the text. Take out every single hashtag. I would prefer every single emoji, but maybe you can leave some in. And just one link, please, not 3 links.
All right, I'm just going to keep going down here.
It's helping me so much that you guys say less is more. I'm loving this so much.
Wait, can you
I like that you
explain-
incorporate.
What is
There's
this?
a lot of women. The emojis have to
Yeah,
go.
there's some men below, but there's a mix.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got another show
This-
more.
We
This
also
was a
have
special
another
request,
ticker.
actually.
Yeah, we have one more ticker.
For the record, I think
On someone
avoid
else's
avoid
TGD.
having show more in your posts as much as you possibly can. Like the only time
Avoid
you should have
it,
that,
you were saying?
yeah. Unless you're deliberately writing a long form post, then you don't want that there. It's more friction. It's just like information overload. Try and avoid it. Be more concise.
Got it.
All of these have show more. I think there's just one, and some of these you have to click on show more just to see the call to action.
So reduce any unpleasantness, any friction.
Yeah, I did see one. You had like one fun tweet up here. I think this like one-liner, and I do like that this is different than the rest. But then when I scroll down here, it just, I guess outside of Kendrick, it looks like there's a lot of these just very corporate type of images.
She means crypto.
Definitely remove. Yeah, crypto corporate.
I would also say
I've been here too long.
every single design that you've just
So
scrolled
more
down,
like this one. Yeah, there's a bit of a lot going on there. But more, because there was an example up there. No.
I don't think there's two designs you can match together and say they're giving the same vibe. Like everything here is different.
Yeah, it's all purple.
Yeah, and one more thing, it's actually the purple makes it cohesive. So sticking to your color, even though there's a lot of things going on the images, it makes it a little more cohesive. There's a lot of things going on, but the purple kind of ties it together. So the cohesiveness about the purple is a compliment. And I know it's really hard to keep the feed feeling like it's you when you're sharing a lot of different types of content. There's product, there's partnerships, there's more memes and everything going on. I would reconsider your content pillars and how you can make it look more beautiful and as it comes into the feed as well. And again, back on the point of, yeah, it has to be easier to read. It has to be less is more, I think, is what we have as a main takeaway.
All right.
Yep.
And I think,
Thank you so much.
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Next one. Are you guys ready? Hey. Oh.
We have two heads.
Whoa.
Hey, espresso team.
It was supposed to just be wit, but I couldn't help myself. I wanted to get on the line.
Oh, no.
Let's go.
We're glad to have you.
Yeah, I don't want to get roasted alone.
Don't get roasted alone. That's the new tagline.
Yes. All right. Introduce yourselves as per courtesy. And even though we do know your project pretty well, give a little short intro over that and we'll go on your socials and get going.
Okay, just real quick. I'm Jill. I'm one of the co-founders at Espresso. I'll mostly be a lurker here. As I said, I wanted to get in on the fun. Whit, I'll let you give the actual Espresso intro and pitch.
Sure. I'm Whit. I am product marketing lead at Espresso. Espresso, we went live on mainnet in November. The Espresso network is a confirmation layer. And so we're all about enabling better interop between L2s, L3s as well in the Orbit ecosystem. So yeah, I mean, happy to get into more depth, but I could talk for hours about it. So we'll just hopefully you
Okay,
get
first impressions, Alex.
I'm seeing a link tree, so I hate it. I hate link tree. So
Same.
my preference is always just one link, one clear call to action. And my experience as well, from like a non-roast perspective, I find the drop off isn't worth it. It's better just to send people to one place rather than try and send them to 10 and then let them pick from there.
Well, but one place is like Linktree allows me to, like, if you click through right now, it's like, boom, we got RSVP for Composability Day at ETH Denver and like do this, right? And then, but after ETH Denver, boom, that goes away. And it's just like, I find it actually very, anyway, sorry.
It's all right. No cope. No
fine,
cope from
fine.
our side. Let them roast. Let's go.
I understand that.
You're not following us. That's too bad.
I must also say props for actually keeping it updated. Most link trees I see are like stuff still from 2022, so that is good.
True, yeah, got to keep it updated.
My other
Busy link tree.
the first, yeah, it's busy, right? The first thing I see,
There's a lot of options there.
I can't work out whether this brand account is more for growing the brand or growing the employee's brand. There's a lot of retweets in here of different employee members. So that was the first thing that I saw when I went on this.
Really?
Okay, well, I actually have not scrolled through Espresso. I think you alluded to it, Whit. I don't follow many brands. I usually follow the people that work at the brands.
Yeah.
I will say I like this color palette right here. It's very clean and concise. I'm so bad at roasting. Okay, let's actually read this. Espresso fuels cross-chain composability, uniting Ethereum and beyond through a global confirmation layer, mainnet live. I don't really love this right here. It doesn't really break away for me. And I'm wondering if you can just keep it clean by saying that you are the global confirmation layer. I also really don't like this emoji here.
Emily. How will people know it's not,
Well, we go to your pinned tweet, right? But do you have anything to add, Reka, on this?
No.
Okay.
I would love. Again, on the link tree, we give shit to it, but I have one too because I understand. Like you have a lot of things going on. What it has to be though is if we go back to your link tree, and I know it's not directly your Twitter, but it has to be simpler. I don't think you have to at least mitigate not having more than like 6 things on it at one time. If it's separate doc links, you should merge the doc links into one, for example. With Denver, obviously there's events and everything, but if you keep the link tree clean too, it's going to be not that frictionless as Alex said, but I agree. I also agree on the color palette. Can we scroll a little so we see? I don't have any
Yeah, we
comments.
so can. I will say there's a thread emoji here.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't-
one I'm underrating too.
We don't
And
like
so many pointing fingers.
Well, look at that. It drew your attention, didn't you?
Okay, let's go back on the main.
Okay. I think this is still from the thread. Yeah, there's fingers everywhere. I do like that you highlighted this. That's helpful.
It looks like it's hand highlighted. That's fun. Oh, there's Emily on the feed.
That is me. Okay, I do like this. Shout out Winnie.
Yeah,
Shout
shout
out
out
Winnie.
Winnie. Can I ask you guys to go to Alex's point? Because we just scrolled past a couple of team accounts. Like, what's the hot take there? Should the brand account be amplifying
Yeah,
team thought leadership?
I think
Or
so.
I personally think it should. I think it makes us a lot more cozy and a lot more friendly. And I like to see a mixture of both, hey, the brand is alive, and also amplifying the team. But yeah, Alex, I'm curious if you would say
I'll
otherwise.
explain
Lay it on.
I'll explain my logic. There's 2 points. The first one is I've been formally requested to try and be the edgy person in the room, so I'm trying to play up to my role a little bit here. But
Thank
I
you.
actually do stand by it. Partly, I've written countless posts about how brand accounts are dead and people want to connect with people, so on and so on. So yes, we want to be building up the personal profiles as much as we possibly can. And yes, I actually think the brand account should be amplifying them. The way I think about a brand account is it's essentially your portfolio of what's happening over the last 2 weeks. And the only note there is I would just try and spread it out. So I don't really like brand accounts retweeting stuff, and I don't really like them doing it back to back, especially if it's a similar thing like retweeting employees. So I would just try and space it out between other posts. That's pretty much it.
Cool, fair.
I will say right around here, there's so many retweets where it loses that cohesiveness. Like over here, it looked fine. You have the colors going. But when I got here, it was like, wait, are we even on espresso anymore?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally fair.
Yeah.
But what helps is you guys have cohesive profile pictures now. So with the team amplification, that helps. Also the emojis. So if the accounts, even from the preview, look kind of similar, it helps it keep in the feed. But with I think brand accounts are really good as like a go-to place. As we've learned, well, we're terrible at roasting. I'm so sorry, but like as we've learned, it's always the team accounts that actually proliferate the message because they get into different parts of crypto Twitter, whereas the company accounts are kind of a gathering spot for all of the news and majority of the bigger announcements and keep that cohesive. So I think you guys got to do a good job of the color palette and feeling like it's a thought out effort. I would absolutely reduce the amount of fingers that you guys use in pointing, and I would be a little more mindful of the retweets. I have to agree with that.
Yeah.
And actually, on the back on the bio, I would make it shorter.
Yeah.
I don't even want to read the whole thing. When you just glance at it, just a few words less.
The bio?
Yeah.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate how clean this looks without the finger pointing emojis.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
And I would also say, based on what I've seen through Emily's sharing screen, I think it's been quite event and UGC and employee focused. I think there's probably some room to slip in some more brand and product type content specifically through this page. And yeah, that will help with breaking up the retweets and stuff as well. And yeah, make it more like the portfolio, like I was mentioning.
Guys, we got to move on also.
Too much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, Emily, this one's on you.
Okay.
Big roast.
Hello.
Hello, Griffin.
Oh, we have a propaganda specialist.
Hey, how we doing?
Pretty good. How are you with yourself? Give us an introduction to yourself and your company, and we'll get cooking.
I'm Griffin. I'm here at camp working on propaganda, marketing, all things on the internet. Pretty much, Camp, we're in identity and social layer, creating instances to bring Web 2 data on chain, allowing people to monetize their existing identities, bring it to solve the cold start problem for Web 3 apps that are building, and as well as to take advantage of owning your data and creating systems where you can compete and be an active part of this AI infrastructure generation, owning your IP and your personal data and bringing it on chain.
Sounds good. Let's kick it.
Okay, this is this is the cleanest bio we've seen so far.
Yeah.
It's clean, but is it clear? Do you know what that means? Like, if you're a 50 IQ person that's never used crypto before, do you know what that means?
Absolutely not.
No.
Our audience is crypto people. What do you mean?
I'm like a level below. I rarely know what these things mean, so I would personally want to simplify it a bit.
What is blockchain? Okay, what do we think about the website here as well as a link tree?
I think you know what we think about that. Alex does not like this.
There's a lot. It's always so overwhelming. Yeah. Okay, let's get out of here.
Wait. How do you prioritize that? Like, why is ecosystem quests the second thing? Okay. Yeah, there's a lot. I would just one link to one place. Everyone that has a link tree, I'll tell them the same thing. That's my preference.
Okay.
I have a thing about your visuals actually. It's both of them both of them tell me camp vibes, but they're completely different camp vibes. And there's not a lot of cohesion aside from both of them are giving me camp vibes. So not in the color, not in the shapes, not in the nothing. I would refine that. Pick a side, which one you prefer better, so that it's more visually appealing. We could see that with Espresso. They did different things, but it's still kind of at least some either in the color, in the shapes, something has to be a little more cohesive.
How many types of camps have you been to, Reka?
No, I mean, like, if you look at that C with the fire, it like gives you camp vibes, and then the literal camp spelling gives me camp vibes, but they're
completely different. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't mean the same thing.
This matches this first graphic on the pin post. I think this is the first one where there isn't emoji usage. There is a show more.
It's not terribly long either. I like that.
I like,
and it is an infographic.
I think the design style sort of cuts through a lot of the stuff you see on crypto Twitter. It's a little bit different, which is nice, and it's not purple, so everyone here is happy about that.
It matches the emoji.
And you guys do have the camp emoji, which is cool. The actual tent. I always recognize team on feeds when I see the little tent situation.
I think this copy is pretty crisp, actually. It's starting with like the problem and then the solution and then who you guys are. I wonder if you can cut this down to make it a little bit more crisp, especially on the pin posts, because somebody will need to read this. And then this does have a lot of information if this is the first time they've ever gone to your social. Rest in peace, Vince.
See, here you save the day also, because this is a completely unrelated thing that I would not relate it to on your feed, but you put the orange thing around it, and so it makes sense. And also with the IP.
Yeah, I will say for this, if you can remove, I forget this is called, I think like the meta image, but if you can remove this just so it's not taking up the screen space when somebody's going on your page, especially on a mobile device, it's just so much extra scroll time, and you already have the visual there. So just leaving the link there. I'm assuming this is an ecosystem project, but the vibe just changed for me once I got here.
You take that risk when you have an ecosystem and you support them.
That's true. Okay, let's get some scrolling.
Football? Valentine's Day? Okay.
So I don't think you don't get to say this very much about brand accounts, but I'd actually love to know more about the brand and the product. I feel like this is all events and like fun posts. And I think you could slip in a little bit more to tell us like how you benefit me every now and then, retweet a little bit less maybe, and yeah, like take advantage of this attention that you're getting to tell us a little bit more.
You do have a lot of creative stuff going on though. Like this is, well, you have to tie it back somehow on. So you're focusing a lot on social presence and relevancy, but you have to tie it back more to the technical, the product a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. Actually, like this is a problem that I think a lot of brand accounts have is they don't have enough of these casual fun posts. I think you're actually over indexing on it because I don't know how many we've scrolled past now. I think probably 15, 20. And I still don't know exactly what Camp does outside of that pinned post. And I'm assuming you're probably optimizing for getting these to show up in my feed versus people that are going onto your page. But if you do have team marketing going on and if they are getting pushed back to the brand page, it would be nice to have some mixture of what is Camp, like reminders via different ways. I think there was 2 ecosystem posts, but they were also more humorous posts, like the Valentine's one. I think this, I don't know what this is. It doesn't tell me anything about the tech or what I can build on Camp.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have. You're doing too good a job of getting people's attention, so now you need to do something with it. There's your homework.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Thank you, Griffin.
Thanks, Griffin.
Thanks. See you later.
Thank you. Did we comment?
Alex. Did we comment what?
On the link tree.
Oh yeah, we did.
Also, Griffin, if you're still listening, which I think you know you are, the link tree has to be less links. Like that's crazy. I'm scared.
All
right,
Alex, you're a lot nicer than I thought. Okay.
How do I know how many?
Hello.
Hi.
There's 1,300 people watching this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hi, Jean.
Nice.
Hi.
No pressure.
Welcome.
Welcome. Please give us an introduction to yourself and your project, and we'll get cooking.
Yeah, so my name is Jean. I do social media and marketing at Wintermute. A bit about Wintermute. Wintermute is an algo trading firm that is not only a crypto liquidity provider, but the largest and leading liquidity provider in crypto, powering over 60 centralized and decentralized exchanges. We have an OTC desk where we offer spot and derivatives products and serve some of the largest TradFi institutions in the world. We also have a DeFi team, a governance and research team, and a ventures arm. We build and incubate projects such as Bebop, Wildcat, and GMCI. So something interesting about Wintermute is that we are not a typical prop trading firm. We actually build in a space, and so generally we are pretty much embedded in the whole ecosystem, and we work with almost everyone in the space, but a lot of times we are behind the scenes. And at the same time, we are not a protocol in the space. So yeah, just want to take this chance to introduce or reintroduce Wintermute to people who are watching this. Yeah.
Insane. I'm expecting that this is going to be this is going to be a lot of retweets because ecosystem.
I like the prediction. So my initial thing I see here, I promise you, I do not need to know who your COO is. Please don't have that in the bio. You can take that out if you really feel like you need to direct some attention or authority to them. You're already paying for the gold check, so you can add them as an affiliate. But yeah, I would not have that in there personally. I like the.
Is this for legal reasons? Because I do understand Wintermute is probably you need to have a ton of credentials and also licenses. So. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious, is this for legal reasons to have the team here?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. And the UK users comment also, is that for?
Yeah, that's legal. Yeah.
Okay. I do like the cohesiveness, colors, and everything.
Yeah, the picture and the banner fit together nicely.
Yeah.
Got a clean little tagline. I like it.
Why do we have T at the end of Wintermute handle though?
It stands for trading.
No, it stands for you can't get the real handle, but yeah.
Me with half of my Boundless accounts being berries because I couldn't get the handles. All right.
But we've got just one link. I love it. Look at that. Very clean.
No link tree. What do you guys think about the bio? I personally think these vertical lines make it hard to read. I
We
wonder if there's
do-
another
we do
breaker you could
slanted live.
use.
We do slanted live.
Yeah. Because to me, this just feels like, I don't know, it's difficult to look at and read. I would do a different type of break. But there is a
And-
lot more things that you do outside of market making, which I
And-
think that's what Wintermute's known for.
And yeah, definitely take out the team mentions there. And there's 3 ways you're pitching the company now, and you already have one in your banner. So I would merge them into not saying more than 2 in the bio, and then divide them probably with either a slanted or make it into sentence. Let's
All
go.
right, here's the pin post.
From a few weeks ago.
I mean, there's no see more. So is this the first pin post with no see more, where it's just I get all the information right away?
Space. There's a double space between the and the creating. For sure, that's a double space.
Confirmed.
Do we put this down as a spelling error?
This goes under formatting. Okay, I actually did not see the video yet. Markets move fast.
Good morning, America.
Oops, sorry, my bad.
I'm not understanding if I didn't read all the things also, but is this your token, or are you just promoting a token that I have to buy?
I read it
So
all
this-
and watched the video, and I still don't understand. So yeah, please explain.
Yeah, so GMUSA is an index by GMCI. So it's a GMCI USA Select Index of 13
But-
tokens, and yeah, you can
Is
trade it
GMCI
via-
part of Wintermute? Is this
it's
another?
integrated.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. Okay, we didn't. I don't think. I know I didn't make that connection. I'm not sure if anyone else did, but that was a bit confusing. I actually just saw Made in USA, but I'm biased because I was literally made there. So that's the only thing I got out of the video,
Yeah,
and something about a token.
I think this is pretty clean. I would just a bit more context without making the caption any longer would have been very helpful. Okay,
Like
we're getting
this is
into the
helpful
retweet.
when you say when you mention portfolio company, then I know. But this wasn't clear. Like, why is this a separate company? But here you're referencing a portco, so that makes sense. I do like that there isn't any emojis. It's clean. Okay, there is a lot of quote retweets here.
And as expected, but also good job on it. Feels so far it's not complete. It feels relevant because
All of this feels like your own feed, which I think is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I've seen these market pulses before. To be honest, I don't like them. I think my view on these is people get accustomed to seeing something and they start to tune it out, and these look the same every single day. And I think you would do better to say 2 to 3 times a week, pick something that's of interest, like a really big news item or daily happening or daily post, whatever you want to call it, and really focus in on that particular thing, rather than just doing like what appears to be a lazy roundup. I think you'll get a lot more out of it of focusing on specific things. And I'm hoping if you scroll down and check the engagement on these, that will sort of prove my point, but maybe I'm wrong.
Oof.
Oof. Okay, let's go back to the feed.
Okay. We're back in a safe place right now.
Yeah. Get us back to safety. Okay, governance update.
Actually, let's stay in the difficult place for a second, but I'm going to tread carefully here, because it's a real hard one. I've worked with or helped a number of brands that have gone through difficult sentiment times, and you can't always hide from it. I think there's 3 options, right? It's sort of ignore it and operate as normal, or even go quiet and then ramp back up, or you need to address it directly or factor it into your like long-term brand building, comms and content planning. So I think to be honest, I haven't studied this page at all, but I would hope that one of those 2 is being considered or going to be done. There is the elephant in the room. There is some rumors swirling around Wintermute at the moment, and that is going to need to be addressed in some way or form. Otherwise, having a social presence is actually going to end up being harmful in the end.
Yeah, I agree with that actually. And I think the CEO actually did post something to acknowledge some of the FUD. And it would be really helpful to even link back to that or take points out of that because it has already been referenced by someone on the team. Something I want to call out is I'm on like 175% just for the sake of the stream. But if I go back to normal, this is so tiny. There's no way I'll be able to read this. And I'm realizing this is as well. There's so much text here. So similar to what Alex is saying, if people keep seeing this over and over, they're going to tune out. I'm also assuming the types of people where this information is helpful for them, they probably are reading it on other places. So if you're trying to target more of the crypto native audience, maybe relate back to what it actually means for crypto, what it means for them. You know, a lot of people don't read instructions. We just saw that with the Mega ETH mint. So just keep that in mind, that kind of the reading level on Twitter is very different than if you're reading Bloomberg. Okay, I'm gonna keep scrolling, guys. Yeah, here's another one. And you have to do this every single day, right?
Yeah.
Is that your idea or are you being told to do that?
Both. So we are experimenting with this. So we only wrote this out like a few months ago just to play around with it.
Cool. I'll save you some time. I've tested this. I've seen teams test this. I would go back to my initial recommendation. I think it works initially, maybe, but people sort of start to tune it out.
Okay.
Whoa!
Otherwise,
we got a Pepe. Everyone.
Yeah. Why do we have a? Yeah.
That is his profile picture of our sales trader, our OTC trader.
Oh, I see.
it fits
That
with
is
the
true.
green.
That is true. Let's go
Okay.
through affiliates real quick.
Yes.
Let's just take a look. Okay, there's a lot of Miladies and then a Pepe.
I do have to say, I was expecting a lot of just lazy retweets, and I have to say, good job on the quote tweets because they give a lot of context for people who are following your page. I hope you have a newsletter, by the way. I'm absolutely yeah. So maybe backing onto what Alex said, I'm sure you're not sending it daily. I don't know if it's a daily newsletter. Congrats if it's a daily, because wow. But yeah, I think more summary type would probably do better. And maybe you could target. I would also recommend. Maybe we see it on their companies, but your portfolio companies would benefit a lot from profiling them even more. So highlighting, having dedicated posts that are about them, what they do, how Wintermute helps them. I think you have a very big platform to do that, and I would support your portfolio that way for sure.
That was far too helpful. Add a bit of spice.
Yeah, we have a separate account for our ventures team, so we would just retweet it whenever we post something on the venture site.
Okay.
I see. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Jean.
Thank you.
All right.
I'm so sorry for giving so much advice, but it's kind of half of our brand.
Hello.
Hello. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
You are so crisp.
You're wearing a Wintermute shirt?
Yeah. You know,
No
I just had to rep. I found a pile of them in the office. I don't know why they're I feel like it's a bit hazardous. Like if I saw someone in a Wintermute shirt, I'd start shilling them my shitcoin to try and like market make for me. So I feel like this is a valuable tool.
All right. Making friends on the street with Wintermute. Maybe they should post about this too.
Wait, hold on. Jean, real quick, do you see his shirt? And he has a matching can.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah, I'm basically like fueled by these green teas. I would get sponsored by them.
Amazing. We've never had a logo X logo on a crypto roast before, so this is a first in history. All right, sorry, Jean, I'm gonna pull you back.
All right.
Okay.
Sir, give us your intro. Give us your company's intro that's not Wintermute, and we'll get cooking on you.
Yeah, so I'm at Infinex doing like community and growth. We're trying to accelerate the extinction of centralized exchanges. So be a decentralized exchange that feels more like something like Coinbase or Binance, but still is non-custodial. And then, I do community and growth. And please be really savage, because I definitely want like you can be mean. I have thick skin. I'm an ETH maxi, and I still hold lots of bearer chains. So like, go crazy. I'm like thinking there's like a really bad see more, and like there's a few posts that I know are like gonna get ripped into. But yeah, excited.
Now you know what we're into, huh?
Yeah.
No? Yeah. It's getting harder as the stream goes on. It gets harder. Okay. Short bio. Props. 2 links, but no link tree. Alex, please leave your comments on that.
I don't hate it necessarily because they're two very, very distinctive things. I think if you're going to send people to 2 places, the Discord and then your website is probably the best way you can do it. So I'm sorry, but that's not the worst thing I've seen today. So I won't hate on it too much.
I actually like this. I like the banner a lot because you're visually telling what the product is through the actual product UX. And this is very clean. So I like that. And I agree. This is not the worst. This is actually one of the better ones.
Yeah.
The 5 people that you're following, is that the team?
Yes.
And Kaito.
And Kaito.
Anything.
I mean, you might as well follow us too if you're going to follow your team and Kaito.
I think someone's done that by mistake, but I need to check.
Was this a requirement to be on the voting page?
I don't think so, but maybe.
Blink 3 times. Blink 3 times if they forced you.
I like to have just Kane. We used to have just Kane as the one follow, and I liked that because I thought it was like eye-catching to have one.
Change it.
So maybe I'll kick everyone else off there again.
Yeah, just do it.
Just at this thing.
What's the worst that can happen?
No, I think what you should do is kick everyone else off and just follow Wintermute.
Just follow Wintermute.
Okay, let's go back to the feed. Pin post, baby. Thread emoji.
Okay, no.
We got a swap emoji sneaking in there as well.
I probably overuse the emojis, but I love ending the line on an emoji instead of a full stop.
Whoa.
I feel like that's a hot take in these circles, I've realized.
Okay, well, maybe use like a bit of emoji, you know, like the thread one is just too predictable, and it's also a little bit outplayed, you know. Like maybe just throw in a dolphin if you want to go, like if you want to end with period but with emoji, throw in something random every time. Jellyfish.
I'm clipping this. So when you see a dolphin, I'm going to be like showing that to Kane and saying it was professional advice.
I'm actually going to disagree. I think I dislike emojis more than most people, but the thread one I can sort of tolerate because it's telling people to check the post underneath, especially when you've pinned it and when something's pinned, there's no reference that there's more tweets underneath it that you need to read. So you actually need it there to tell people to look further. So maybe I'm roasting Emily now instead.
But I personally think there's ways to do it in a more clean way. Like Wintermute had like Okay, that was not professional advice. It's like if you want to go full stop and like put, you know, end period emoji, you might as well go all out. But no, I do agree. Like you do need to have some call to action of see more or there's a thread. Yeah. I just think there's other ways to do it with like, you know, the HTML symbols you can copy and paste. That keeps this a lot more clean.
Yeah, the Unicode downer. Shout out to Ish who uses that a lot. I stole that from him.
I have a roast for you. Why is your pin post not moving? Why is it static? It's 2025.
Yeah, that's a good call.
As of a few weeks. Give me at least a GIF, you know? I know it's hard to source creatives. We're all in that boat. But if you're having a pin post planned to be there for more than a week or two, longer than a campaign that shows that your product's live, you should show me more of that product with a moving content piece.
Yeah, definitely.
100% agree. Yeah, especially because this has so many words in it where if it was actually moving and there was motion and there was like zoom in on the buttons you click, tell me what this product is without having to read through everything. Okay, here is Kaito.
Back with the Kaito.
Soft chill.
We have more Kaito yappers out here. Are we pushing Infinex or is this like a Kaito and Wintermute page?
I would be very interested to know how the Kaido thing went for you guys, like in terms of growth.
So it just launched like 6 hours ago or something, the like leaderboard, and so we'll see. I feel like I could talk for a long time on Kaido, so I don't want to derail. I have a whole live stream in a few hours. I'm going to shill that. Everyone should tune in 6 hours. I'm doing like a live stream to just talk about Kaido for an hour. So
I did deploy votes to you guys. I will say I like this line because this is definitely an engagement bait line, and having a question will lead people to seeing your future posts at a higher probability. Okay, here is Kane's interview. I don't know why Twitter does this. I don't think you meant to do this, but it just, yeah. Is this alpha leak like a routine thing you do with like the big alarms?
Yeah, just started last week, and it's our new like weekly call. Yeah, this is my really bad see more. I notice that on mobile sometimes there's no see more, but then it pops up.
No, don't try and justify that. Also, is the last two posts that you did that wasn't a retweet was both alpha leaks? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
There is this one from the podcast.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's see
What else we got?
Scrolling through, and I actually have not seen anything about the product recently. I think you also have a campaign live right now, right? Like the Infinex Bull Run, and I'm wondering why there's nothing about that. Maybe,
Yeah.
I don't know. Over.
Yeah, so I feel like you're telling us nothing through these tweets. So you're getting attention, you're engaging with the community, all that stuff's good. Again,
Yeah.
I was not expecting to say this so much today, but yeah, tell us a bit more about the product sometimes, please. I don't know what you're doing. I actually do, but maybe other people don't.
And give me videos, dude. Like, dude,
Yeah.
what's that?
We just got like I was previously doing the videos and writing most of the posts as well, except I'm a very bad video editor. But we've got a video dedicated guy now, so you will see a lot more.
Okay. Because well, you can do like Screen Studio for the lowest effort, and then you can edit it in CapCut or anything. It's the cheapest solution you can do, or just screen record and edit it even in your iMac. But that's obviously not as high quality. So I'm really glad you're upping that game because it's a quality product. It's a good feed so far. So get some videos in there and show us your product.
Definitely.
I'm also seeing this a lot today, but I've just like come to me now is lots of founders have been on podcasts recently, and the host of the podcast is posting it, and then the brand page is retweeting it. I like that this one is like taking the clip yourself and doing it as a native post. I would personally prefer to see that more. I think being very selective with those sound bites and being clever and putting the subtitles on whatever is really good. And if this is this even a podcast, maybe I'm wrong, but I've also seen that a lot today anyway.
No, yeah, so that's literally I think first post from our new video guy. So he does a thread of all the highlights from the podcast with our sort of branding on the subtitles and everything.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
Sorry, I kicked him out too fast.
Such a fast
Booted off the stream.
Sorry. Well, while we're here talking about videos, I think let's just throw it out there. Creative is so important, and I think Reka, both you and I are hiring creatives. So if anyone in the audience is an amazing creative, hit us up.
Plug.
We're looking for you.
Oh, is that what you're doing?
Plugging jobs for creatives.
Yeah,
So
and I'm unemployed. If anyone wants to offer me a job, just DM me.
What, Alex? No, like I don't know if this is a place for that. You know.
Hello.
Hello, Melanie.
One more. Hi, Melanie.
You're muted, darling. And unmute yourself, and then give us your.
Now, thanks for having me. I learned already so much. What great roasts and also great projects.
Why are you lying right now?
No, it's really great. I learned so much, and I see already what's coming up now for us. I can already imagine. So yeah.
Give a little.
I hope there's no
Melanie.
latency because I'm calling in from Dubai and sometimes it's a little bit shaky here with a video.
Okay. Well, let's kick us off then.
Okay. So shall I start?
Yeah. Give a little
Yes.
intro to us.
Okay, so I'm Melanie. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Power Labs, building the power chain. I'm 8 years in Web3. And since beginning 23, we bootstrapped Power Chain, the first layer 0 that has interoperability with Web2. And the big change is that all blockchains as of today are very siloed in Web3. Everyone is focused on smart contracts. We decided to do also all smart contracts, all coding languages and all frameworks. But on PowerChain, you can even deploy any Web2 software application directly and switch on Web3 like this. And besides that, I would say the next advantage is that it's the most lightweight blockchain, very, very powerful. But the validator nodes are costing on PowerChain just $24 a month. So the whole PowerChain network can run on the costs of one validator, Solana validator node per year. And I think this is very important because only if you have a very lightweight blockchain, you can have a very sustainable blockchain and you don't need inflation. And in history, we have always seen that only technology was able to scale that did 10 times better in efficiency while lowering the costs also. And we have seen it now with DeepSeek. I think this moment surprised everyone. And I would say maybe this is the DeepSeek moment of blockchain.
All right. Thank you for the intro. We're going to get into the socials.
Yeah.
So,
can I start? I'm getting very mixed messages from what I'm seeing here. Two things I'll point out. First is I don't know if this is like an investment arm or a blockchain. Like the @ is Power Labs and then the thing is Power Chain, and it sounds insignificant, but also the website's Power Labs as well. And to me, that's actually quite confusing. And I would personally want to fix that up and make it all cohesive. Similarly, I think this bio is really good. It sort of starts to explain a benefit rather than just telling us a feature, which is cool. I don't think, to me, it's not connected at all to Internet of Web3 slogan in the header. So I don't see that connection. I'd love to see those two be more cohesive as well.
Mm-hmm.
Plus the header, I cannot read the layers, and it might be because this stream is really small. But thanks Emily for scrolling out from your 150. It's even smaller. So I would utilize that space to rethink what the Internet of Web3 is, and either have those layers have one word on them with bigger letters, or just don't have that. We won't see it. Maybe it's on the website too.
Yeah, agreed. I was going to say the same exact thing. Also, I think Internet of Web3 as a tagline, it doesn't really mean much to me. And then this also seems disconnected, which maybe that's what you were referring to, Alex. But I do like that there's only one link here. This is very clean and crisp in terms of like visually. Visually when I first land on the page. Okay, I hate these emojis.
I hate the entire pinned tweet. To me, like this looks like a borderline scam. I'm going to be honest. There's hashtags, emojis, too much information in the post and in the picture. I think giveaways are a very, very complex thing, and I mean, we're just going to go back to saying less is more. There's a lot of thought that has to go into this, and I understand the desire to try and get people to post about your chain and use the hashtag, but you have to be very strategic with these and make them appealing for two reasons. The first one is I feel like this is, you're using this to try and get your brand out there, and this is the image that people are going to land on. I don't think it's a good one, so I would want to sharpen that up. And also I think the better you make these look, the more the high quality users you're going to reach through a campaign like this. So this for me is optimized for farming essentially, and low value users that aren't going to come back and give you anything in the future. I think.
Why we have.
Sorry, go ahead.
We have decided to not work with any question platforms and, like Galaxy and Silly and Quest, etc., but to build our own Quest platform. And we have just launched this Quest platform. And that's why now basically the focus is currently on this Quest platform. We actually, without any marketing spend, have already onboarded a few thousand users. And it's slowly already creating, we have, I think, 11,000 posts in the last few weeks from these users already, and really good ones. And we nurture now the ones and educate the ones who are really good. And that's why we had now this extra power challenge for the ones that basically are constantly participating already. But I understand it doesn't look, we should rework, make it more appealing looking, so.
Okay, fair. I will say, like, I like that there's intentionality with what you're tracking, and also that you're nurturing and retaining whoever is considered high quality in this case, because I do agree with Alex's point, but I just want to call out, at least you are thinking it through, because visually this looks like you are attracting farmers, which there isn't anything wrong with farmers. They can be helpful. But of course, there's intentionality with that campaign when you are executing it. But there is a lot of, I just, these emojis, it feels like AI to me. I think this dash is throwing me off. And then there's even more hashtags on the bottom. We're going to keep scrolling down because so far, I still don't know what PowerChain does. Remember, like the disconnect between the headline and the bio. So, okay, let's look at this.
I'm also going to flag that we have 3 minutes off our stream. And I think we should probably minimize our rating based on our criteria.
Okay.
ZK mentioned.
This is very hard
have
for me
just
to read
launched
right
it.
here. This is very technical.
And it's not well formatted in terms of we do like that there's bullet points, but it's still hard to read. They have to have more space. Since you're already doing a show more, you might as well use your space and have an extra return.
Being that you're a chain as well, I've scrolled down and I still don't know what apps can be built here. So I would love some visuals or some easy to understand text on what is being built in your ecosystem. What are things that can only be built on PowerChain and nowhere else to justify all of these features you have and these technical aspects?
So we have 15 layer ones on top, and they are basically onboarding the apps. But yeah, I agree. We should be more clear here.
All right. Any last words, Reka, Alex?
I think overall, I don't have a lot of cohesion in this feed, and you should pay more attention on the ratio of your content pillars, of when you're talking about product, when you're having a fun post, and try to shoot for, even though you're differentiating based on what the content is, that it looks a little more cohesive. It will help a lot with, and also ditch this many emojis.
Yeah.
A bit less.
Agreed. The other thing I'll add is I think unlike some of the other profiles we saw, there isn't like a visual alignment with any colors or any like social templates. Like what I am seeing visually aligning here without actually reading it is it feels like these are ChatGPT like copy prompts that are coming out. It's just the emojis for me. So that might be helpful too, to just have some type of like social template or visual to tie this all together.
Great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Great
you.
advice. Take
Hang
care.
on.
Bye.
All right.
Thank you. All right, team.
Do you have a hard stop?
We do, but we do have a minute to do a rating. We could pull that up again. Just to look at how many of, maybe we can just do how many of those did we hit today with our wonderful consensual roasties.
Give me a moment. I tried to multitask while driving, so I'm missing. I need to get one more screenshot.
Alex, use your voice to go through the list and what we hit.
Excuse me. What does that mean?
You just read the list because you have a good voice and you're our guest. So read the list and we'll go through how many of those we hit.
Okay. I don't even have it in front of me. Hang on. Got to get it up on my phone.
Oh, watch the stream. Emily has it pulled up.
Oh, got you.
Everyone, Alex he's been off an iPad and a broken laptop.
Just an iPad.
Maybe
Okay, ready? Wintermute. Then what do we do? Or I just read everything.
No.
Wintermute, Infinex,
No,
Espresso,
dude, no.
Camp Network, PowerChain, Transfer Mole.
Oh, he does it on purpose. He's trolling us.
Okay. Let me make this bigger so everyone can see. So this was the very first one, the transfer mole, and they really got us, right?
I have to go.
All right, Alex, it's just me and you. Reka, do you have a number one? And do you have a
No.
number one at least? No number one. Wow.
Espresso.
Okay, espresso.
That's biased.
Bye.
Bye.
Alex, it's just
See ya.
okay. So how are we gonna rank this?
Well, let's start with the obvious ones. That for me, the nose. I don't know if these rankings are not really real. Let's be honest. So that for me, the nose puts that below F tier. So if we can't do that, I think F will do for now.
Okay. You think the nose is worse than okay, some of these like double link trees and
Yeah, I do.
So the nose is on the bottom. They did have a good visual identity though. Like remember, they even like colored the text purple. Where, for example, PowerChain had nothing. It was just like it felt like ChatGPT output. That's my take. I'm getting Infinex and Wintermute mixed up because he showed up with a Wintermute shirt, and then Wintermute also was advertising another company that said "Made in America."
Wintermute was the best at being cohesive across everything that they did on their page, which was cool.
Too much text though.
Yeah, they did have too much text and really small text.
It was tiny. Okay, Camp did really well for like not like unlimited creativity. Like shout out Griffin, because that was a lot of memes, a lot of creativity, but I still don't really know what they do outside of that pinned tweet.
Yeah, I think we're being nice now, right? So I guess the one thing I like about Infinex is that their like social community strategy is integrated into what they're doing as a business, similar to something like what Kaito does, where they're working with these hot chains like Bearer, whatever, and they're also making that a moment on social at the same time. And yeah, ultimately, like actions speak louder than words, but you can amplify your actions a lot through social. And I think it's clear that what people are doing at Infinex, they get where the attention is and they get where the real builders are, and they're working with them, and then they're doing a good job of amplifying that through their social. So I think that was something that stood out to me from their page, which was good.
I agree with that. I will say though, like being a product and not having any like quick animations, there's so many like cheap or even free SaaS tools that will do that for you. So that just feels like something that's so low lift and easy to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So Espresso, they also had a nice visual identity. I think you commented on the link tree and also the bio. If you look at it,
I don't know what that means. To be honest, I don't know what any of these bios mean. I don't know. Maybe that's just the common denominator is me at this point. But they're all like trying to be clever, but just confusing me. Okay, so the nose and the ChatGPT asked tweets probably are going to be getting the stick today, I'm afraid.
Okay, here we don't need to use this actual like ranking system here, but let's say they're on the same level.
Yeah.
Is there any one that was a winner for you?
I think I want to give it to Camp, you know.
Wow, okay. All right. Okay, who's second place? Is there I would say
I feel like what you've got right now, I'd probably put Espresso Camp one like in the top row, and then like so I pretty much just laid out now. I'd be happy with that.
Okay. Let's go through our list. So I don't think I saw any dead memes actually.
No.
I actually remember.
No, I think we're good on that.
Emojis, that's good. We did see a few thread emojis. You did justify one. I remember that. You looked in that moment. I don't remember about more than one tags.
Oh, that was a lot. Don't worry.
Really?
Yeah.
There was a lot of purples. You did catch the double space. I think that was Wintermute where there was a double space.
In their pinned tweet, which is criminal.
Yes. which is also part of bad formatting. We did
Yep.
see a lot of bad formatting. We saw a lot of C-mores.
Yeah, notice I call it lazy. I do think it's lazy. Either be concise or be deliberately long form. Twitter is that see more is there for a reason. And if you're making people click it just to read like 2 more lines, you didn't do a good enough job at writing the tweet in the first place, I'm afraid.
That is true. We did see a lot of hashtags as well. But I will say like in terms of creativity, because it is very difficult to stay on top of trends and think about how can you put yourself and insert yourself into the conversation, especially as a brand account. It takes a lot of energy to do that. And I will say that I think Camp did a good job. And it's actually easier to think about brand and product related content than some of those trends sometimes. So if they up that, it would be great. Okay, I'm happy with this ranking as well. Do you want to spend maybe 5 minutes roasting some personal accounts? Do you have time?
Sure. Yeah, wait, we need to be nice to Espresso because I think we were nice to everyone else as well. So
Okay.
yeah, you already said it on the other thing, but I do like their vibe, I suppose. Like the design, the color palette's really nice. And I think when they weren't retweeting people, they were carrying that nicely throughout the posts. So like we said, a bit more diversity, splitting up the retweets, maybe reducing it a little bit and doing away with the finger. And I think we'll be good to go over there at Espresso.
Who was the one that had so many pointing fingers?
Yeah, it's Espresso. It's Espresso.
That was Espresso? Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to have to move them. They're like in the halfway point now. That was so many fingers. It was like fingers and also number emojis.
Yeah.
Okay.
The fingers is diabolical.
All right, so what I'm going to do is try to play fair as much as possible, and we're going to filter by, how do I filter by oldest? Hold on, let me zoom out because this is hurting my eyeballs. There's usually a way, right, to see.
I don't know. I've been on my phone for a year. I don't know how to do any of this stuff.
Okay. Oh, here we go. It pops up. So we're going to do latest, and then let's just scroll to the bottom and look at the oldest. So just to make sure that those who are early do benefit.
First come, first serve. Let's do it.
Exactly. All right. I hope this is accurate, though. All right.
Was that permission? I guess it was permission. We'll do.
Yeah, because I'm assuming if you commented and submitted yourself, then you're giving us consent. There's a red flag here. I don't know what that's about. So, okay, let's just look at the tweets because it's personal. Okay, I like that I see his face.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good way to stand out. And we're seeing more of it now. We're seeing, like, I feel like the video resurgence is really starting, but still, like, anyone that's doing it and putting their face front and center is ahead of the wave. So I like to see that. And I think wait, I'm going to be roasting, but I think that framing at the top where it wasn't just a pure video is actually quite interesting as well. Sort of catches attention in the monotony of a social feed.
I was going to say, like, he's doing a really good job editing his videos.
Q1 of 2025 has gotten off to an electric start.
How do I when I push this, like, this stream is going to go live for us, and I do no editing. I don't have time, but I have no idea how I would put text behind my head. Okay, there's a show more here.
Wait, press it. Yeah, there's a lot of show mores, but is it worthwhile? Like, is it? No, okay, it's not. So.
No. Okay, let's go. Let's leave.
So yeah.
So there's no hooks. So something you're really good at, Alex, and now I'm glazing you, but you're really good at getting one clear point across, and you do it in the first line. And I actually, as I'm scrolling, I don't know what this person, like, what their niche is. Maybe I need to watch the videos.
Yeah, well, I think something I always say to the people that I work with is every post and I think every profile should just have one objective. And if you have more than one, then split it up or make it a campaign or something. So you should only really have one point or one place to send people. And if you don't know what it is, then like, what are you posting about anyway? And it doesn't really translate super well to personal brands because, you know, people are giving more of an insight into their real life. They don't want to be cringy and add marketing hooks and stuff all the time. But I do think if you look side by side at like a successful personal brand versus another one, they more or less have that principle in mind with their posts. Like, they're not confusing you with loads of different information.
Yeah, agreed. It looks like this person works for Abstract, and I don't think they do. But all I'm seeing is Abstract. So let's go to another one. SD.
SD.
All right, I'm pulling. I lost the tab. Give me a moment. Okay. Everything marketing and community related at Blendy. I like that. I like when I know exactly what type of marketer you are or exactly what you do.
Yeah. How do you feel about the old debate of having your previous experience in your bio?
I think it depends, you know, like if I worked at McDonald's, I would totally flex McDonald's, but if it's just kind of generic, then, and also if you have too many, then it's overkill.
Oh yeah.
So it depends.
I don't need to know what college you went to, thanks. You can take that out.
Oh yeah, let me add my middle school. I'm gonna do that right after the stream. Okay, so pinned tweet, cracking the crypto KWAL code, a no BS guide, good copy. I like that.
Yeah,
Alex,
I think to be honest, I've been playing with Twitter articles a little bit. I think you probably saw the post. The problem I have with it, like I don't like the formatting of that text there, and I also think you need to be aware of the fact that those first two lines are being pulled out to be like the hook of the tweet, because you can't catch attention any other way. Like the article gets tweeted like that, you can't give a caption. So your image, your title, and those first 4 sentences are like the most important thing possible. And no one's figured this out properly yet, but you can play with the preview a little bit to get a better idea of that. I think this one doesn't look super clean to me, but it's not their fault. It's how Twitter does it, but it's hard to get it right.
No, I fully agree with you. I would say the visual is always the most striking for me as well. And I actually, since you're here, I remember you wrote something recently that you've been testing articles and you don't like them. Can you remind the audience why you don't like them?
Yeah, well, that was one of the points. My least favorite part is that when you post it, you can't post it with a caption. So you can't do a hook or give any more context or anything like that. You have to rely on the title and the image. And if you shared any other article on social, you wouldn't do that. Very rarely would you do that. So I think that's a really big flaw. And then the other thing, I do like the articles for the way that you can format them and do bold, and it looks a lot cleaner. And I think the archiving is really good. So on your page now, you have this articles tab, which is, yes, that's really good. I think, and I also imagine that X is pushing them harder because it's a new product, and also you have to pay to access them. So that's like a plus for them. But for me, my experience has been it doesn't stand up to the fact that there's extra friction in that you have to click into it, and it feels off from Twitter because people are there for like bite-sized information, and going through that, it sounds stupid, but going through that mental load of clicking into a long form article doesn't feel like a native experience on Twitter, which decreases readership. And then if you click in, the way that you engage with it is just completely wrong compared to what you normally do on Twitter. Like the engagement's at the top, and then you might find it at the bottom if you're lucky. But because of how like the article formats, and actually I read them on mobile, it's worse on mobile, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah, so
I was going to say the same thing. Like you can't find the engagements on mobile like you can on desktop just now. And I think another symbol of if people are actually reading the whole thing or not is looking at the bookmark ratio, which can help, I guess. Like if you get a lot of bookmarks, ideally that's going to boost your algorithm to that or future posts of that person. But I have often found that people are not reading these as much as they would a post because there is so much more words. And when you're on mobile, which I often am, you can't see the comments, I already lost it. Here they are.
Yeah, you can't see the
comments without doing like a double click. You need to click into it and out of it. It's weird.
Yeah, which makes it like impossible to engage. And also my other theory about long form content on Twitter is that most people don't actually read it anyway. They just sort of engage with it to signal that they understand your point, so that's why the hook's so important. And that's also why the engagement badge is so important. And if you do a long form post or a thread, you can better direct people to engage, but you'll also just capture people doing it because they think the post is probably smart and they don't actually read it, or they bookmark it for later. I don't think you get that as much of an article.
Interesting. That's actually good alpha. If you want to psychologically signal to people that, hey, you read this, you build on you're intelligent, or kind of like intelligent bait them, just make an article. It doesn't have to have any substance. Just write a really long article with a good hook. Okay, let's.
Yeah, no more of that. Actually, no, disregard all of that. I don't want any more long form Kaito farming stuff. Please.
How I earned 0.2 yaps yesterday.
Should we take like 5 minutes just to say that it should be pronounced Kato, not Kaito, or at least from the British perspective?
I don't know. I think it's Kaito for me.
Yeah.
But we can agree to disagree.
We'll do a Twitter space on that next week, guys. So tune in.
Yeah, we'll have people vote. Okay, I'm gonna keep scrolling. So far, I do think there is some. It looks like it's good quality content without reading into it too much.
Yeah, I think the positioning and framing of yourself here is pretty good, and it looks like you're being smart with the way that you're using communities for like extra distribution. Again, another sort of alpha leak. I think a lot of people have realized it, but you can post in communities and on your timeline simultaneously, and you sort of reach a very specific audience and your own audience, and it's a good way to get the algo snowball going. So I think people are getting more and more on that, and it's actually devaluing communities a lot, but it is an interesting way to get more attention at the moment.
Agreed. Yeah, what Alex is saying, if you can't see this, is you can actually post to a community and to your feed at the same time. And I have seen it work. It also depends on the quality of the post, though, I will say. Some of the really crowded communities, one I'm in as well, I think there's probably 6,000 people here last time I checked. Yeah, so when everyone's doing it, it does get a bit noisy. Okay, let's go to another one. So here is Brian, and then Ish is next. Okay, sorry, I keep losing all of these tabs, so I need to. Okay, here's Brian.
All right, I like the setup, the leaves, the Monstera leaves, and it's definitely striking.
It is. Part of me thinks like if you're gonna put at stealth, like don't even put it there. Like, what's the point?
It's signaling. It's cool. I'm working on something you're not allowed to know about right now.
Like if you know type vibes.
Yeah.
Okay. They do tell you what they tweet about, so that's good.
Yeah, and that's a flex speaking that many languages as well.
That's real. That is real. I'm very jealous. Okay, here's the pin tweet.
Okay.
I think it needs to be refreshed. We need to. It's 2025. We're past this.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's from 2023. Yeah, and look at that. It was a show more into a thread. That is the worst sin. If you're gonna do a show more, at least make it a long form post. Don't make me click show more and then read a thread. Like that is, wow. Please don't do that.
I wonder if there's like a new tweet this person recently wrote. Are they okay? They have no highlights. That could be helpful as well. Like if you're gonna say you tweet about marketing or AI, I hope that you have a really good AI or marketing or storytelling tweet that is pinned here. Okay, we're gonna keep going through.
I like the commentary. I actually think we see it a lot around like products. We're not seeing it as much around like comms and marketing moves. So quite appreciate that.
You mean like the commentary, quote retweeting, or something else?
Yeah, just like taking the time to give input.
I agree. I used to never just retweet, as in like just like retweet. I am doing it a little bit more now, just so there's a bit more diversity in my feed, I guess. But I do really like when people add their own takes. This is also a great way you can personalize yourself and show how you think about something.
Yeah.
Okay. Like this is just like a retweet, and I usually won't read through that. I have not seen any marketing or AI content from this person yet as we're scrolling through.
True.
So if you're telling me like, hey, this is what I tweet about, and I have that expectation and I'm scrolling through and I don't see it, chances are I'm not going to follow you.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen more about seed oils than I have about marketing, other than the Coinbase take. So
and FTX.
We're maintaining an all lowercase vibe though.
This is actually really funny because this is what I mean by whenever I see this dash, and I think we saw it a few times earlier, especially with the emojis, I'm just like, oh, this person took this from GPT.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I don't like the M dash, so get rid of it.
Okay. let's move on. Should we do, how many more should we do?
Let's do like 2 more.
Okay. Do we do
I
Ish?
think Ish doesn't need us to do it for him. He's employed to do this for other people.
Okay, let's do Aesop, and then we'll do one more after. And
look at that. That's a strong profile. I'm speaking and I've got a pudgy penguin. So I'm rich and I'm influential. Check me out.
it sounds biased.
Yeah, I actually don't. A little pudgy is probably like, I don't even know what they're worth anymore.
Okay, co-founder, addressable. I mean, there's so much flexing in here. Let's go.
Yeah, 400 plus citations. Like, to be honest,
That's badass.
It is, but it's almost going too far. At that point, it's like I've got 17, very specific. Like, you need to know exactly how good I am. 17 years of AI. And like, you think Banks is always early? Asaf's been in AI since before you were born, fella. So.
What's nice though is he's been on a few of our rows and he's always so nice. So it is a really good balance. And I think it's also because I've spoke to him. So he comes off very grounded and humble. But you are right. If I did not know him whatsoever and I'm reading this, I'm like, wow, that is a bit of overkill. Just leaving it here and then having this like this tagline on the company, that would just be a lot more crisp.
Yeah, and we're also, are we done with Web3 now? Like, can we stop pretending that that's a good term? And also, maybe you don't need the graph emoji. I'm not sure.
I agree with you. I do use Web3, but only on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I actually don't love the so I sort of posted about this a little bit before, like the emojis in the name. I think some teams like Camp have used it really well, and I think it's a good way to like curate the community and have another bit of branding on the timeline, I suppose. But I think it needs to not be messy. And if I look at that dart and then the tick and then the affiliate logo, for me that's too much. So I would just take the dart board out of the name. And then my theory on this also is that it has to be an emoji that looks different to the majority of other emojis. I know it sounds sort of weird, but I think the one that I was seeing a lot was the puzzle piece, and to me that was like 3D with shadows. It was like neon green. It really stood out from the majority of other emojis that I see on a daily basis. So it looked more like not professional, but just different. Whereas that dartboard one looks like a generic emoji, so it doesn't stand out or give the same like cult feel to me.
Agreed. It is really noisy here. It's also just giving USA with the red, white, and blue. I don't love the hashtag here. I don't know why we have a hashtag. Let's keep scrolling down. Okay, so there's a lot of posts.
Selfies.
He is busy, and then we have a article here. It's a good use of the image.
Yeah, that's smart.
Retweets. Retweets.
So this is something. So like when you're building can you go back up to those 2 question posts? When you're building a personal account, you sort of have to, or any account really, like you have to realize that there's different tiers, and what a small account can do or should do is different to what a big account can and should do. And I sort of I always wanted to do these like engagement baiting or wrong answers only, or ask people questions when my account was smaller. But the reality is that no one replies, or you don't get that many. And then it's like, it doesn't serve any purpose other than making it look like no one's talking to you. So I think you really have to be clear or like honest with yourself about what stage your account is in. And if you feel like you can't rally the replies, then you have to save that tactic for later, because for me, it's more harmful than helpful because of that.
I agree with you. The other thing I'll add as well is if you are going to prime for a question, you need to actually build up, not to your point, like you are saying, you need to build up the account or recognize the stage you're in. But before these 2 questions, there are just retweets from what I'm seeing. And typically, at least what I've seen is when I just like retweet, it's very different than when I natively post for my profile. And at least what I found is the way the algorithm works is the more somebody sees your tweet on their feed, interacts with it, maybe they don't even interact with it, but they just go to your profile, there's a higher probability that the next thing you tweet may hit hit that person's feed again. So if you are going to like lead up to a big announcement or lead up to like asking a question to get some answers, you need to always think about, how do I make sure this tweet is going to show up on as many people's feeds as possible? And to do that, it's a mixture of how you engage with other people. What are the tweets that you're writing before? What is the frequency of your tweeting before you post that? I mean, I don't think he's like leading up to asking this one question, but that's at least what I found. If you do want a tweet to get a lot of engagement.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right.
Oh,
Okay.
GIFs. I hate GIFs. Please.
I do too, actually, especially on native post.
Yeah, sometimes a reply it can work, but it's sort of like it's a step further than memes. I feel like all the worst memes are using formats that you would have seen on Reddit in like 2010, or for example. And GIFs feel like that. It just feels like you've sort of been stuck in time and you're still on the internet 10 years ago. Unfortunately, like.
Agreed. There's so many M dashes here. Shout out
he's been in AI for 17 years. He is the M dash at this point.
Sorry, I just need to plug my employer. So if you're in Denver, come to our marketing day. All right, let's move on. This was really funny. Okay, should we do one more?
Let's do one more.
All right. So we did camp. Hi, Griffin. Here we did espresso. Here's a GIF.
Yeah.
I don't know how you say it. Okay.
I say GIF.
Should we do Farcaster or should we do TED? Because Farcaster didn't technically consent.
Let's do Seb, because neither of those are technical consent for me.
So Seb?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So instantly that header is like a stock image. For a personal account, I don't like that. Like you want people to connect with you. You don't want to be advertising. That's like the whole thing about having a personal account. You're much better off having a header image of chili oil than you are of having your company logo.
Wow, thank you, Alex. That was the first compliment I got all day. I completely agree with you. I actually saw this first because I think when I got on the page, I scrolled down a little bit. I really like the bio. This is super crisp. It's nice. I like it. It's also a really good following ratio, which I think these things are pretty dumb, but they do matter for the algorithm. But I agree. Like, this is overkill. We have spring.
Yeah.
Spring.
But I like the emoji in this name. I don't know if it would be as nice on light mode. You're on dark mode right now, but it feels, you can just look at it. It feels much more cohesive and not as noisy as the one we were just looking at. And that, I guess the emoji is more simple as well, which helps. And the color is different to what you see elsewhere just scrolling through on Twitter. It's not, yeah.
That is true. Okay, we have a pinned post. Thread is in the beginning.
Yeah, that's dubious, to be honest. Like that, it's interesting with the view figures. To me, 46 retweets and only 2.5k views. That looks botted.
I do this sometimes. Do you ever do this on your phone? I like to see who's actually.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm right. Those aren't real people.
Confirmed.
Oh no, wait, Mad Pizza 1912. I know that guy. Legend.
Okay, so we got 1 out of 40. There's a lot of Monad people here.
But I mean, that's not a shot at them. Like, sometimes people's posts and followers, like it's happened to me, you just get botted out of nowhere. But
yeah. Okay, so that's a whole story on spring. Let's see if there's any personal things. I don't know. That's actually kind of funny. Okay, I mean, Succinct has been doing a really good job, I think, with their campaign, but I think this is okay.
And it's cool to have an opinion, right? Like, even if you wouldn't fully stand behind that, I think that's good.
Shout out to having opinions, shout out to sharing them, and shout out to having very authentic, strong opinions while you're at it.
Yeah.
It's crypto, might as well have main character energy.
Did it get engagement? No, not really.
No, it didn't. It didn't.
So this is a challenge of having a. I'm saying this is a small account based on the engagement I'm seeing. Like, unfortunately, you can't just post like. If you think of an account like Naval, and his posts, they're like so vague, but there's a lot there you can unpack, and it is like really, really useful info. But you have to think about it. As a small account, you cannot post stuff like that as much as you want to. You actually have to spell it out, and you have to be value add and help people understand your points. And then as you get bigger, you can sort of start to be more vague and mysterious. But in the beginning, it just doesn't work.
Agreed. Yeah, in the beginning, you have to focus on writing content that is a mixture of provocative, entertaining, amusing, teaches people something. And to get distribution, you need to reply to people as well.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot more work that you need to do up front. But if you are consistent with it, the other thing too is if you post something that gets a lot of views or shares, you have to kind of keep going. Alex, have you ever taken a break?
No, of course not.
I'm kind of scared too, because I'm like, what will happen if I just go offline for 2 weeks? I don't know.
Yeah, no, sometimes, yeah, you're exactly right. If you hit a hot streak, you just have to keep going and going, because like the snowball is there, and everyone that's engaged with your last post is going to be served your new one. So you just have to start like pulling amazing content out of nowhere and taking advantage of it while you can.
Exactly. Speaking of Naval and my own personal Twitter lore, I mean, before I ever got into crypto, I got retweeted by Naval, and
Really?
that blew up my account. Yeah, this was years ago. But I didn't do exactly what we just told everyone they should do. I didn't keep the momentum up, and I had no consistency back then. So once I realized like, oh, people like crypto marketing content, that's basically my whole personality now, and that seems to be working. But yeah, so there are moments where you can become like a one-hit wonder, and you do need to keep up momentum and have some consistency.
That's actually the worst thing you can do. It's better to have 100 followers than like 10,000 that came in for a post that you weren't able to follow up, because you get deprioritized at that point. If you have so many followers and they're not engaging with you, then your content is like objectively, based on the data, not good. And that's how they view it, regardless of whether like the substance is good or not.
That's true. So I'm wondering, as I scroll through, there's a lot of like easy one-liners here.
Yeah.
But I think outside of like the very strong opinionated posts, I'm not really learning what this person knows or their story.
I mean, the easy way to look at it is like, who are you, Seb? Who are you? I don't get that from your posts, which means I don't connect with you, which means I don't want to hear your hot takes, even if they're good, because I don't know who they're coming from. So that's what you want to. You don't have to dox your face or like give any like deep insight into your personal life, but you need to find a way to give people things about you that they can connect with, so then they want to hear this other stuff from you.
Agreed. So, okay, yeah, it says AI can't say GM from the heart, and all we want to know is your heart. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put it like that, but fair enough.
Okay, cool. So while we close, let's go back to this list just to recap everything that we did today. Okay, I actually don't even remember all of the advice that was given out, but I feel like there was a lot. I think what I remember is Alex absolutely hates link trees. So please do not have a link tree. You will trigger him. I heard it in his voice. You don't have your camera on, but I heard the trigger come on with the link tree.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it was back to back too, and it sounded really painful for you. What else? The purples, I mean, it made sense for the nose. Also, you really hated the nose. I remember. That was like a...
Yeah, I'm surprised I'm not being like rallied around on this opinion. I don't know how anyone could like that nose. It's bizarre.
I think for me, it's so different. Like, if you look at this, it's so different. Like, we're going to remember what this means, you know? But there are other ways it could have done it. Like, transfer mole, isn't that an animal? You could throw up a cute animal. I don't know. But yeah, it is different. So I give them that for it.
I mean,
what else?
If there's like two things to take away from today, I think it was like less is more and keep it clean. And that sort of cuts out all of this stuff that we just said. Like, you wouldn't have a see more if you're trying to condense your stuff. If you're keeping it clean, you wouldn't have weird formatting and too much small text in an image, or all these finger point emojis and stuff. Like, and I think people sort of separate themselves from themselves, if that makes sense. When they're writing brand content, they try and brand it up, and that's actually the wrong way to go about it. Ultimately, you need to write like you talk, and that extends to all type of creative work that you're doing. Like, it needs to feel natural, even if you're trying to use a brand voice, it shouldn't feel like a robot's writing through that brand voice. And in some of these cases, I think a robot might be writing through that brand voice anyway. But yeah, just be normal. Stop trying to brand it up. People connect with authenticity, whether it's through a personal profile or through a brand account. And it's a hard thing to do, but you have to like really push yourself to get to that point. And my view on this is, if you put in the time to like be really critical of your work and make it meet these like 6 words that are on the screen now, in the beginning, it takes more time. Like you have to be critical. You have to like triple check your work. You have to leave it and come back later and check again and all of these things. But if you do that for like 2 weeks, a month, then suddenly you're at that level, and then all of your work will be like that, and then all of your work is significantly better than it was before. That's my view.
I agree with you. I think the beginning is always the hardest. And once you hit that stride of being consistent and things are looking clean, and you're also able to convey really interesting thoughts or shares in a very succinct way, and you keep building that consistency, you do see the growth go up, and it gets easier and easier because there is a flywheel effect of other people that follow you and engage back with you. But that beginning, getting past a cold start is so difficult. And if you just stick with these 2 simple rules, it makes it easier.
Cool. What was our peak viewers? Do you know?
We're at 2,762. Do you have any life advice?
Wait,
or any
a record? That's all I care about right now.
I don't know. I'd have to double check.
It is.
That's all you care about.
For the record, that's a record. What was the last question?
Do you want to leave the viewers with any like final jokes or life advice? Do you have anything for us?
Yeah, read more books, spend less time on social media. I think you'll benefit from doing that. And you don't have to finish a book. I think that's also a big problem, is people start books and then they sort of get stuck in it and they're like, I need to finish that to read the next one, which is completely wrong. Try and find books that you like, at least in the beginning. Get into the habit of reading, and then once you're there, you can start to like try and push your horizons a little bit, which I'm doing and sort of failing. But yeah, you should be reading more books. It's like smart people are telling you stuff in an easy way. Like, why wouldn't you want that?
What's the last book you read, or what book are you reading now?
I'm listening to Radical Candor, nearly finished. I think that's a good read, especially if you're looking to get into management or just want to be a better member of the team. It's probably like quite it's a very specific style of collaboration and management, but I do think it's interesting to know those perspectives, and you can sort of factor it into the way that you work. And then I'm reading, what's it called? It's called like How to Think Smartly or something, which clearly I'm not, because I can't remember the book title. But
How to Think Fast and Slow?
No, it's not that. I tried to read that, but I downloaded the PDF onto my Kindle and the text was too small, and I got exceptionally bored. So there's me following my own advice. I'm not going to finish that book. I didn't like it. It was too research driven. I didn't like the way it was written. I'll tell you what it was that I'm reading when I get my Kindle, but it's it actually touches on some of the points I was reading in Thinking Fast and Slow, but it's more like reading a Twitter thread. It's got like 100 chapters and they're all only 3 pages long. So for someone with a limited attention span like me, it's been quite helpful.
So something I'll say, and I love that you just said like get off social media after we're saying to everyone like be consistent, post daily. But Sam here says like audiobooks help when you're stuck on a book. I agree with that, but I will add that because, at least for me, I'm consuming so much information. I'm always on Twitter. I'm always like making sure things are going well at Hype and checking in on latest campaigns. I find that reading a physical book, or even on my Kindle, just actually reading something that's not crypto related, helps a lot, and it helps with my creativity. So I echo that statement. And I think actually, Alex, can I ask you for 2 more minutes? Because I would like you to roast my profile. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Check this out. It's not my profile. It's more my, how do I go to my, I want to show you a graph.
Okay. So it's like a very specific post?
No, it's not a post. It's actually just my account analytics.
What?
I'm curious.
Not a roach? You're just showing off your growth.
No. I'm curious what you would say. This is my account analytics from last year.
I would say show me show me it past June 11th so I can see the trend, because I can't see shit with that. What was that post? What was that post that went viral like that?
It like completely it was so interesting. It went outside of crypto Twitter. I had no not really any new follows that day, but it just throws off my analytics now. Cause like
what was it?
It was something about like this pin that I got from HSBC or some bank. I'll send it to you later, but it was like at a Pride festival, and then they said like, "Hi, my pronouns are," and then it was just like a bank.
Yeah.
Pride.
Yeah, I saw that.
But yeah, ever since that, I've never hit my own record. So
no, I mean, I've got some peaks in there as well, but yeah, I tweeted like a stupid picture of a watch, and it got like 1 million impressions and went far outside of crypto Twitter as well. My graph is similar to this, but it's got like 3 or 4 that aren't as high. So yeah,
like this actually looks worse than most pump.fun charts. But okay, cool. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you were able to make it finally, and I hope that
finally, just a little subtle dig there. We've been trying this for a while, clearly.
Yeah, I've been trying this for a year. So it just goes back to being consistent, reply guy to all of Alex's posts, and maybe one day he'll say yes.
Yeah, I'll do it again sometime. It was fun.
Cool. All right, I had a lot of fun too. Okay, I am gonna end the